Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So in this video, which will be broken down into 4 parts, we're going to cover the fundamentals you need to follow to go from 0 to 100,000 followers on TikTok in 1 month. Before we get into tactics and strategies, we need to talk about mindset. It's often overlooked, but it's the foundation of long-term success. The same fundamentals that apply to successful businesses also apply to TikTok. There are 3 pillars of success, and the first one is consistency. If you want results, you need to post every day, ideally between 1 and 3 videos per account. The second thing is your niche. You need to master your niche. You need to know your market, your competitors, and your audience. That means spending a lot of time analyzing what is working in your niche. For example, if you make cooking videos, work in OFM, or run a clothing e-commerce business, you need to carefully study what works in your niche and know the major competitors. The third thing is split testing. Don't just guess, test. That's how you figure out what works. You don't discover what works by thinking about it. You discover it by testing, posting, and analyzing. Every time, you're gonna need to test different hooks, different video lengths, and different formats. Then analyze the data and continuously optimize your content based on the results. For example, if you post a video using a specific hook and it reaches 300,000 views, then you publish another video with that same hook and it also reaches 300,000 views. You've identified a winning hook within your niche. At that point, the goal is simple. Keep refining it, scaling it, and building on what the data has already proven works. You should keep using that hook or create variations of it for your future videos. The second major pillar is your TikTok setup. If you want to reliably grow from 0 to 100,000 followers, avoid shadow bans and stay in good standing with the algorithm. Your setup matters. The goal is to maintain a strong trusting score, maximize your reach, increase your visibility, and put your content in front of the right audience. When done correctly, this gives you the best chance to build a large and engaged community around your business. What I recommend is having a multi-account structure, so don't just rely on one TikTok account. Sometimes an account can get shadow banned, flagged, or receive a poor trust score for various reasons. When that happens, its reach can drop significantly, making it much harder for your content to gain traction. That's why the golden rule is to use a multi-account structure. Instead of relying on a single account, you should always operate multiple TikTok accounts to diversify your reach and opportunities. There's also one critical rule to keep in mind. Each account should have its own unique IP address. To reduce the risk of accounts being linked or flagged, use a separate phone to provide a dedicated 4G or 5G hotspot connection for each device running TikTok. The goal is to keep every account isolated and operating independently, giving each one of the best chance to perform at its full potential. Instead of connecting through Wi-Fi, connect through a mobile hotspot from another phone. The model doesn't really matter. This way, each TikTok account is strictly isolated on its own IP address, which can help avoid shadow bans. If one TikTok account gets shadow banned and another account is using the same IP address, there's a strong chance it could also get shadow banned because TikTok may view them as the same account. Another issue is that if TikTok detects many accounts on the same IP address, it may consider it spam and immediately flag, shadow ban, or even ban those accounts. Another reason to have multiple accounts is that it multiplies your opportunities for virality. As I explained, sometimes one account is rated better than another for unknown reasons, so its videos receive more reach. Overall, having multiple accounts also gives you more data to understand what works. Now let's talk about content. Don't reinvent the wheel. Some of the best ideas are already out there. The goal isn't to blindly copy what's working, but to study it, understand it, and adapt it to your own niche. In other words, learn to steal like an artist. There are several types of analysis you can use to find winning ideas and turn them into content that works for your audience. For example, if you're running an OFM business, you can perform a cross-market analysis. That means looking at what's performing extremely well in the US and adapting it for the French market. As you know, it's no secret that the US is usually ahead. On the other hand, if you run an e-commerce business or almost any other business, you can copy content structures from completely unrelated niches and adapt them to your own niche. This could be a video structure with a specific hook or a format that appeals to TikTok users. Study the scripts and understand how they capture attention, but more importantly, how they keep attention until the end of the video. You'll quickly realize that regardless of the niche, product, or content, the psychological structure is often the same, so make smart adaptations. As I mentioned before, you need to be an expert in your niche. You need to know your audience and competitors inside and out so you can communicate effectively and become a major player in your market. Next, there's a powerful TikTok strategy called intelligent reposting. You can repost your videos but never do raw reposts. TikTok dislikes non-original content, even if it's your own. If you reposted your own content, TikTok may see it as duplicate content, which can lead to reduced reach or even a shadow ban. That's why visual modifications are important. You need to adjust the framing, add filters, change the speed, and use overlays. However, even those basic changes are often not enough with today's algorithms. To make content appear unique, you need more than just a few basic edits. When you're reposting at scale, the process quickly becomes complex. You also need to modify the audio by adjusting frequencies, adding background music, and changing the way silences are edited. Another important factor is metadata. It's not enough to simply remove it, you need to rewrite it so the file appears completely new. A video without metadata is like someone trying to cross the border without an ID. Metadata acts as the video's identity card. If a video has no metadata, it's essentially missing its identity, which can make it appear less trustworthy to algorithms. As a result, it may receive less reach and lower overall distribution. To help you repost at scale using a multi-account strategy, or even repost on the same account where the content was originally posted, it's important to take advantage of content that already performs well. For example, if a video gets 300,000 views on account number 1, it's often a good idea to repost that same content on account number 2 as part of your multi-account strategy. If a piece of content is already generating strong results, there's no reason not to maximize its reach across your network of accounts. You may ask, why? But it's actually simple. If the video succeeded on account number 1, it means its structure and script are proven winners. The problem is that if you repost it on the same account, it may still perform but not as well because the video will be shown again to the same audience, the same people who already watched it. Their interest will be lower than when they first saw it. However, if you repost a successful video from account A onto account B, the video will be shown to a new set of people, a new audience. It may be a similar audience, but generally they're different people seeing the video for the first time. And because of that, interest in the video will be much higher than if it were shown again to people who had already watched it. As a result, the video can perform much better and generate far more views. This strategy, I can assure you, is powerful regardless of your business. Now, I'd like to introduce a tool that lets you repost content at scale without being detected by TikTok's algorithm. That tool is MetaGhost. It's an advanced spoofing tool that enables large-scale reposting without detection. It simulates metadata from the latest iPhones to artificially boost the perceived quality of your content and therefore its reach. In other words, a video processed through MetaGhost will have its metadata rewritten, as I explained earlier. Metadata acts like your video's identity card, but this will be a high-quality rewrite. It's like crossing a border with a passport from a highly respected country. In this case, the metadata mimics an iPhone 16 or 17 Pro, which increases reach and improves video performance. Another important feature of MetaGhost is that it applies more than 40 complex visual and audio modifications that are practically invisible to the human eye but sufficient to fool AI detection systems. So when you repost, your videos remain high quality. The modifications are barely noticeable to viewers, but they bypass algorithm restrictions, allowing the video to perform well and gain views. This can be extremely powerful for your business because it provides real scalability. You can repost the same viral content hundreds of times across different accounts with minimal risk. I can assure you that this can be a game changer for your business, whether you're in OFM, e-commerce, or online education. Regardless of the industry, this reposting strategy can be very powerful if you follow all the principles discussed in this video for succeeding on TikTok. This is the method I used to grow a TikTok account from 0 to 100,000 followers in just 1 month. If you'd like to implement this mass reposting strategy on TikTok or any other social media network, since MetaGhost works with virtually any platform, the website link is in the description below. I'll also include the Telegram group link where you can read reviews from MetaGhost users. As you can see, MetaGhost works very well. The reviews are verified. There are currently around 100 users. In that Telegram group, you'll also stay informed about new updates and have direct access to support. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again very soon.